I want to show you how to create a full end-to-end authentication flow using AWS Amplify, which is the team that I work on. We just launched brand new authentication components for React, Vue, and Angular. And so I want to give you a quick tour of what you can do with them and how you can enable backend and front-end authentication from simple flows to more complex customized setups. So the first step is to enable backend authentication, which I am going to do through Amplify Studio. So I'll click AWS Amplify within the AWS console, and I'll create a new app here, and I'll select Build an App. I'll create a name, and then confirm deployment. Once deployment's complete, I'll click Launch Studio. Then we'll go ahead and go into Enable Authentication. And I'm going to start from scratch. You can customize this if you're interested, so you can do multi-factor authentication. You can also add in like sign in with Apple or Amazon, but for now I'll just keep it simple. You can also select different attributes that you want to get from your customers, but I'll just go ahead and deploy. Now that authentication has deployed, I'm going to go ahead and create a React app that I'm going to build my front end with. Now I'm going to change the directory that created, and I'm going to install the Amplify libraries and React components. Now in Amplify Studio, if I click this deployment successful, you'll see that this Amplify pull command is generated. I'm going to copy that, paste it, and run it. This is going to sync my front end with my back end. It's going to create that connection for me. I'll choose the defaults for all of these, but if you had a different text editor, you'd want to choose that. Now I'll go ahead and open up my code in my text editor. I'll open up my index.js file. In here, I'm going to import Amplify from AWS Amplify. And then I'll import config from my AWS exports file. Then I'm going to run amplify configure with that config information. So that AWS exports file contains all the information about where my authentication is located within AWS. So it, behind the scenes, uses Amazon Cognito. So it has the ID of the user pool and all those types of things. So now I'm just making it so that I can access all of that within my React app. I'm going to import the Amplify CSS file. So that's at AWS Amplify UI React styles.css. And then I'll also import the Amplify provider component. I'm going to change this top level component to that Amplify provider. And this will provide styling for my application. Now I'm going to go into my app component. And in here, what I'll go ahead and do is import the with Authenticator component from the Amplify React components. It's a higher order component, and so what I'm going to do is I'll wrap my app component export in it. This will make it so that you need to log in order to view my app component. You could also put this on a separate component. So say you have a form component and you want to require somebody to be signed in to access that form. You could just run the with Authenticator on that form and make it so that they have to sign in order to see that rather than blocking the home page. So what I'll go ahead and do is run my React server. Now you can see that I have this component that has like a full sign-in flow for me. So I can go ahead and create an account. I'm going to choose a password. Now in my email account, I have this confirmation code. So I'll go ahead and confirm that. And it does that whole flow for me. So now I can only see this app.js component, the classic Create React App homepage, when I sign into my application. A really common use case that we're going to want to enable too is a sign out button, and also to show the user's information on the page. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is pass sign out and user to my app component, and those are passed in as props from the with Authenticator, so I can use them within my application. Let's go ahead and put on my user information. So user.attributes.email will give me that user's email. Sometimes I'll just do json.stringify with that whole user object so you can see everything, but user.attributes.email will show their email on the page. And then let's also add a sign out button. So sign out will be a function, so I'll have a button and make it so that on click it fires that function. So now when I click on sign out, I am taken back to that sign in form. So by default, this form looks exactly like this, but if I enabled anything more fancy, like if I had to sign in with Apple, for example, it would show up right here. I can also do so manually. So I can do social providers and then Apple. And now you'll see that I can sign in with Apple right here on the form. It renders, though I would have to enable this on the back end in order for it to fully work. In addition, you aren't stuck with the beautiful teal blue that it comes packaged with. Instead, you can pass a theme if you want. So let's go ahead and make it pink. I'm going to go into my index.js file here, and I'm going to create a theme object. So const theme equals, and then I'm going to name it. So I'll do pretty princess. And then I'll provide some tokens. Colors, background, primary, value, hot pink, and then I'll pass this theme object to the Amplify provider. Now you can see my component is this lovely hot pink color, and you can customize all sorts of things with it, from the appearance to fonts to the colors to even what the different fields say. So if you want a really customized flow, you can move to the Authenticator component instead of the with Authenticator higher order component, and this will allow you to have whatever form elements that you want within your application. So again, you can get the sign-in flow that you need for your application with this. You can also do the theming through CSS if you want. So if you're more comfortable with that flow, you can do so as well. To learn about all the options, head to ui.docs.amplify.aws, and you can see all the different React components, but also how to use this Authenticator within React, Angular, and Vue. So excited for you to check it out. Again, I work on this team, so if you have any feedback, please pass it on and I will send it to the team. Thanks so much. I will talk to you next time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more videos.